The Play's the Thing, with your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, the real Lee Davis. Now here's Judy.
This is Judy Sleed. I am here with Ava Growney. We are here to celebrate Lee Davis's life. I am so sorry he's passed, but I feel that he's still here with us. He was such a wonderful, wonderful person.
He was a lot of fun. I met Lee Davis here at LTV, and he was very vibrant, and he was funny, and he was a little bit, I'm trying to think of the word, kind of, I don't know, he took liberties sometimes. I mean, he was always kind of taking liberties in teasing people and.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yes, and so he liked to bring the life out in people. He liked to challenge people, but in a sweet way,
Right.
Yeah, he wasn't he was a gentle, warm soul. I remember after I met him here at the studio, which is where I met you, Judy. We did the producers class together.
Right, and that's where I met Lee Davis too.
Yeah, right here at the studios.
Yes.
Yeah, Lee had invited me to come to his house to have tea one day because he lives not too far from me, and he was talking about other things that he wanted to do at LTV. And he told me, and maybe you already know this, he told me that he had been involved on some level, I don't know what level, with like American Bandstand in
He started it before Dick Clark took over, but he did start.
He started American Bandstand. I mean,
Yes.
that's major. That's major stuff there.
Yes, but then they wanted, I think, to move to California. He
Yeah.
didn't want to leave New York, so he took another job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, that's one of our biggest, American iconic musical and dance TV shows ever. And
Yes.
certainly Dick Clark has carried the torch for so many years. But if, his involvement with that, for Lee Davis to be one of the first guys out there, I mean, he was, as far as I can remember, that's the first dance on television and music on television.
Yes,
It was on every week. I remember every Saturday we used to watch it as kids.
Yes. And when people come and do shows here, mostly amateurs, but Lee was an experienced. He knew this stuff inside out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he loved television. He loved everything about it. But there was an ease that he had. He was, never made you feel uncomfortable. He always made everybody feel very warm and fun. He liked to make fun, of you
Yes.
to get everybody to lighten up. So he had an ease of nature that was really quite, engaging, very sweet. And I remember also seeing him quite a bit out in Amagansett, because we both live in Amagansett, at the Amagansett beach. One of us would be pulling up to the beach just to look at the water.
Oh.
He loved East Hampton. That's the other thing about him. So that I had experience with him on, that he loved East Hampton, he loved the beach, he loved the water. He liked to watch what was going on, the activities, that were happening on the beach. And I used to, pull up and do the same thing. And sometimes I'd get out of the car and sit on the bench that's there. And, we'd turn around. I'd hear a car pull up, and I'd turn around, and it's Lee, and I'd
Yes.
wave. And then he would take a nap in the car.
Oh, that's another thing he used to do.
Parked in the 15-minute parking spot area.
A lot of
off
times we
season.
were waiting for him to come in there. Where is he? So Lena would go outside, and he would be sleeping in the
He'd
car.
be taking a nap.
In the parking. That was so fun. Oh, okay, you ready? All right, let's do it. So would you like to have a sip of champagne with me to celebrate his life?
I would love that. I would love to be able to
Is this
celebrate.
okay?
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm not going to
How
fill
sweet.
it up.
No, just a taste, because I have to work
Well, just a taste.
when I leave here, so I'm just going to have like a little taste.
Yeah, just a little sip.
And we'll
And
chin
here,
chin.
this is for Lee. because for me, he will always be here. He will always be here in spirit.
Well, I'm sure you made such good friends together that
Yes.
he couldn't not be here.
Not only, okay, let's have a drink.
Okay. Very nice.
Not only did he, saw him every day, but I would talk to him on the phone, make sure that, there's a show. And so I spoke to him on the phone quite often also.
And he would work the head for you? Is that what he would do when he was here?
He was my director.
He was your director, right. So he was sitting there,
yes.
and he would make decisions
when the cameras were here,
Mm-hmm.
We used to have camera people,
Right.
and he was out there telling the camera people which camera to use, zoom in and out, and all that.
Yes, yeah.
And then things changed, so he was just directing from outside.
Yeah, I remember that, because I worked on the cameras, but I never worked on your show. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's very proud of you. You've been here doing your shows at LTV now for what, 4, 5, 6 years or so?
How about 8 or 9?
8 or 9, okay.
Yes.
So that's how long we've known him.
And here is a picture of Lee and me celebrating one of my birthdays.
Aww.
I don't remember which birthday, but he helped me. As you could see, we were both very happy because the cake must have been very good.
You can't wait to get in there and cut that cake.
Yes.
Well, I say to you, thank you for inviting me on and giving me the opportunity to say, how much I appreciated who he was in spirit, and I know his spirit is, like you said, still with us and looking down on us, and he'll be teasing us along the way.
Yes.
Because he's not going to let us forget him. I'm happy to be able to remember him with you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming for this occasion.
Thank you for having me very much,
And
Judy.
now we have a lot of people who want to say hello.
Yes. Okay. We'll see you again.
Yes.
All right.
I'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again. Bye.
I'm going to take my champagne with me.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Right. Now we have Jim. How are you, Jim? I'm so happy you could come and celebrate Lee Davis's life with me. He did a show with you.
Yes, I've known Lee for about 6 years. I first met him here on the show, and I realized that he was also a veteran. He was a Navy veteran from World War II, and we do a show called East End Veterans, and he was just a marvelous man to work with, and good sense of humor. I would always come in and say, "Oh, hi, General Lee," and get him to laugh, because I'd always kid him about, he was just, I don't think he was not an officer, he was just a regular sailor, and but he just had a great sense of humor, and he always did a great job for us on the show. I never realized that. I knew he had something to do with the TV industry, but I never realized that that's what he did.
Yeah, that was his life work. He wasn't doing TV shows and commercials, etc. So he was a real experience. He did that for a living.
He was just a marvelous person, a lovable human being, and we will definitely miss him. And I'm sorry that I didn't realize that we tried to get in contact, and unfortunately, we didn't get in contact with him. We didn't have people here at the studio didn't know where he was, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And we found out he had passed away.
Yes, it's just, I can't believe it. For me, he's still here. I don't think LTV is going to be the same without Lee. But he's here in spirit. Did you see this picture of me and Lee?
Yes, I saw that. It's a beautiful shot.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That was maybe a year or two ago.
He was a kind individual, and just somebody that, you just couldn't help but love him, just a wonderful human being. And it's nice because we're both old enough to understand that everybody that comes into our life affects us in some way, and he affected us, at least me, and I think everybody on the show in a positive way. He was just a wonderful person, good personality. and fun to
So
be
I
with.
have some champagne, which you told me you're not drinking, or you want a little bit just to have a sip?
Yes, I will take a little bit just to celebrate.
Yes.
You want me to do it, or you?
Well, go ahead, just,
I'll just do a little bit of champagne,
Yeah.
just a shot.
and also,
Here's to Lee.
here's to Lee, wherever you are.
Right.
And he also loved chocolate. So you see, I have all this chocolate here. Do you like chocolate too?
I love chocolate. Chocolate. Unfortunately, I have diabetes, so
Oh.
I don't eat much chocolate. So I don't have much sugar or anything. But once in a while, but I
Yeah.
had to give up the real sweet stuff because once in a while I'll have some dark chocolate. You know, you can have a little bit. I don't have
Dark. I think we
serious
have some
diabetes.
dark. Here is dark, right? Shall we open this up? So
Sure.
go ahead. And
The special dark?
I don't know whatever illness Lee had, but he ate chocolate all the time.
Well-
He loved it.
Dark chocolate is good for your heart, by the way.
Is it?
Yes. So if he was having that dark
No.
chocolate once in a while, it was good for his heart.
No, he didn't care. He just ate chocolates.
Well, you grow up, you know, we grew up in an age when it was Hershey's, you know, it was the big chocolate company.
Yes,
And
yes.
we,
And every once in a while, I would bring some chocolate for him.
Oh, that's
Says,
wonderful.
Oh, chocolate.
I'm sure he loved when you showed up with the chocolate.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
You know, he was really by himself and should not have been for a long time. I realized that he wasn't taking care of himself, but he insisted on, you know, not having somebody take care of him. So
Yes, he was very independent.
can't get this open. Here we go.
Oh, you did it. You are so. You opened the champagne, and you opened that,
Here's chocolate
and
for him.
it's for Lee.
Right.
Okay, so we're just gathering here to talk about Lee's life, and we're all going to miss him, but as I said, he's here in spirit, and one of his favorite words were terrific. He said, oh, that's terrific, everything. Oh, that was a terrific place I went to. Have you noticed how many times he used
Yes,
that word?
Lee was
Yeah.
always, as I said, he was always an ebullient kind of person, and had a good, always get him to smile and laugh, and he was a pleasure to work with. He was a real gentleman,
Yes.
and we will miss him, absolutely. You know, as I said, he affected our lives, and we all just, I say we loved him because he was a veteran, and he was just a wonderful person.
Well, I want to thank you for coming and talking about him, and we want the whole world to know what a wonderful guy he was.
Yes. Well, you're welcome, and it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Or you could take your champagne with you.
Okay.
And you're also with the veterans, right?
Right. And of course, I've been thinking about Lee today. And I'll tell you the truth, I don't remember when I first met him, but it was some time ago. We started the East End Vet Show in 2004. And one day he was here, and he offered to be our director, and he's been director of the show ever since. And I just told Lena that we're never going to take his name down. As long as the show goes on, he's our director.
Oh, great. That's wonderful, because he directed my show, and he did such a wonderful job introducing my show that when somebody else introduced, it's just very flat, because he had so much vitality the way he introduced my show that I just never got tired of it.
Well, he was what I call a real trooper. There were times when it was obvious that he was very sick. He still showed up.
Right.
Every Friday he showed up for us. He gave us a few words of encouragement at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. There were times that he was so sick that I would go pick him up or someone else would bring him. It was
Yes.
incredible. I found out a little bit about him. He was a very accomplished director. He was involved in TV for a long, long time.
Right. Yes. He was experienced, not like some of the people who do the job here. They're just learning it, but he came here as an accomplished director.
And also, he showed me a photograph of one time when he was a young man, and he looked like, to me, what you call a ladies' man.
Yes. You want to know something? The same thing. I went to his house, and he had some pictures on the wall when he was a younger man, and I was like taken aback at how he was like dapper. As a matter of fact, even lately when he used to put on his red jacket. He looked, and I used to use it this, you look so dapper in that red jacket.
Also, he did something that was, for us, that was really nice. He would take our show after we taped it. He would send it into Manhattan. So for a long time, our show was being aired in Manhattan on, I think it was called...
M&N.
Yes.
I have my show there, too.
Yeah. So we're not going to forget him ever.
Well, we are here to celebrate his life. So how about having a little champagne?
Is this a champagne glass?
I don't care. You could have that. Here, I'll freshen this up a little bit. I just have a sip. And
this is to Lee.
To Lee forever.
Lee?
Yeah.
All right, we got a show to do,
Yeah.
at 3 o'clock.
And he loved chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
You know something, I forgot about that. He was many times eating chocolate.
Yes. He loved it. I used to bring him chocolate.
I'll take some M&Ms.
Go ahead.
All right?
Yes. Well, thank you so much
pleasure.
for coming.
Okay, you take care.
And I'll see you soon. Go ahead.
Can I take this with me?
Yes, absolutely. Hello, Tim.
Well,
So nice of you to show up to come
it's
to
nothing nice.
celebrate.
We all owe it to him. He was a wonderful man, wonderful person to work
terrific.
with.
Terrific.
Really wonderful.
Yes.
Now, what I remember was when I guess I've known him since about 2007. And what happened was I decided I wanted to produce the Republican show. Mm-hmm. And that was the second time that Bill Wilkinson was running, right? So at those days, you had a choice of taking the producer's course, which cost $90, so nobody would take it, or you had to apprentice on 14 shows. And it was my good fortune to apprentice on 14 shows, and they were all directed by Lee. So what Lee taught you was how to frame a shot, when to change, when to have individual shots, when to do 2 people, 3 people. And he was really, in a sense, my mentor. So it really taught me how to direct a Republican show. And for a while I directed other shows, none of which I could have done if I hadn't worked with Lee and apprenticed on those 14 shows. And he was really absolutely wonderful and easy to work with. And I remember one of the shows I apprenticed on was yours. And he would open up with, Judy, 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 Judy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
never forget that.
Oh, that was such a lift to hear him introduce my show. It made me light up.
He was really wonderful.
Yes.
And I remember doing a show here that he was directing, and the person it was about aerial. It was the aerial photography of this particular fellow, and he had been the editor of one of the local papers here, and I knew him socially and so forth. And getting him to talk was like pulling teeth. But on this particular show, getting him to limit his comments on the photographs was almost impossible. And the next thing I know, Lee's showing up at the door going, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. So he was really wonderful to work with. And the only thing I have to say, we've got a great collection here, but I'll tell you what's missing.
What's missing?
Licorice.
Oh, he liked licorice.
That's right, particularly red licorice. He loved, remember he lived, and you sometimes, you know, as he got older, he would sleep in his car.
Yes,
in the parking lot, and you'd look in the car, and there was, next to him on the seat was all this red licorice.
Wow.
And when he wasn't sleeping, he'd be chewing on his licorice. And
I just thought he loved chocolate. I used to bring him chocolates, and he used to love it.
Really?
Yes.
But he, I guess he had a sweet and a sour tooth, right? Sweet for the chocolate, sour for the licorice.
Yeah, he ate chocolate to the very last.
He was really, it was a pleasure to really know him, and he was just a wonderful, accommodating person and a good storyteller. And
oh, yes, he had a lot of good stories, yes.
So
how about a little champagne to celebrate his life?
We're toasting Lee.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
choose a glass, whichever glass.
Just give me a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm not going to fill it up. This has to go a long way.
Whoop, yep, you got a lot of people. So Lee, here's to you. And may you be waltzing and enjoying champagne wherever you are.
Right. And would you like to have a piece of chocolate?
Well, I just finished one of those sandwiches I stole from the board meeting.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Absolutely delicious. But it's been it's been my pleasure.
Well, I'm so happy
you
took time out.
And I want to thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
And we're all going to miss Lee for a long, long time.
Right.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you again.
So I guess we have some more people coming on?
Yes, we have.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Judy. So good to see you here again. You're looking fantastic as usual.
And you look gorgeous as usual. Yes.
We're here celebrating this debonair, talented, dear person, Lee Davis.
Yes, yes.
What a great loss it is to our community.
And
but
to
we were
LTV.
lucky to have him here, and to LTV. He was the pro that taught so many of us.
Right. Yeah. Yes. And he brought such life to the program, because the way he introduced my show, here is Judy, Judy, Judy. You know, how can you not be happy when you hear that?
Yes, yes. Well, he adored you. And he was a very appreciative person. And a lot of people play it cool, but not Lee. He let you know if he really got you. And he really got you. And I didn't know him well, but I would have liked to. I met him late in his life, and I was so impressed with him. He was just so special.
Yes, he was very professional. Before the show, he would come in and talk to us, and the guests, how you say your name, how you pronounce it, you sure, is this okay? And he discussed, you know, what is going to happen. And then after the show, he would come in and shake hands and say, good job. You know, some people just don't do that. He was just so professional and courteous and wonderful.
He was obviously very well brought up. He had manners, and that is something that is leaving in our culture. He had true manners.
Yes.
I remember him opening doors for people and letting them go first, and he was truly a gentleman.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, where I used to see him was at the beach. We shared the same beach, and he'd come in his car, and I'd be there in my car. We'd maybe be eating lunch, looking at the beautiful waves, and he spent a lot of time there in Amagansett at the beach. And then I'll tell you another time, I saw him meeting a woman at the train station. And he was like, again, such a gentleman, very debonair. And this beautiful blonde woman got off the train. And I said, oh, who's that, Lee? And he said, well, that's my friend. And it was very romantic. I didn't ask any more questions, but I was glad to see.
He had a girlfriend, and like a few years ago, I think she moved from Long Island back to the city. But Lee liked it here.
Yes.
Liked it. He used to have an apartment in New York, but he said he gave that up and he moved here, and he never regretted it. He loved it.
He bonded with nature here. I could see
Yes.
that. And with you. And so many people here at LTV. And we all will miss him so much. But
Right.
his picture is right there on our wall, large as life. Here he is with
Yes.
you.
I usually keep this on my piano.
And your piano says a lot because you're such a great pianist. So that's great. That's the heart of your house, I bet.
It is. Wherever. I wouldn't move any place unless I had a piano.
Do you still give lessons
Yes.
to adults?
Yes.
Oh, I may be calling her. You heard it here. I'll go from to something more.
That's why they named me the piano lady.
Of course. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's a wonderful thing to always have that. My big regret is I didn't keep up my piano, and I should have.
You know, it's never too late.
Thank you.
And I've been saying now, life begins at 80.
Great. Well, my mother's 86. I'm going to tell her that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think people get less judgmental, more full of love. They realize
Yes.
what life is all about.
And what's important. And what isn't. Well, let's celebrate. You
Let's
pick a
celebrate our
glass.
Lee. He knew what was important.
Oh, whose is this? He left it here.
Oh, yes.
We don't want that.
No. He had to drive home, perhaps. Thank you. That's fine. I have to drive, too.
Oh. So this is to Lee.
Carpe
You will-
diem.
You will always be here with us.
Absolutely. I feel your spirit right now.
Yeah.
And that smile. Lovely. Thank you for
And you
sharing
could-
that and
And
letting me share.
You could take it with you.
Thank you.
if
I'll
you
take my
wish.
champagne.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you. And it's an honor and a privilege to have been invited onto your show for this moment in tribute to Lee Davis.
Well,
thank you for
thank you
having me.
so much, Michelle.
Love you.
And
You're the
love
best.
You too.
See you soon, and say hello to your talented son.
Many more people wanted to come, but they had previous engagement. But and also want to say that his daughter Paula was a very caring person, and she came very often to visit her father. And again, Lee, you are not forgotten. As a matter of fact, every time I come to LTV, I know you're going to be here. So it is just a temporary, I don't like to say goodbye, but thank you for being with us.